Welcome to SAT Reading Part 2, Short Passages. My name is Amory, and I'm a tutor and instructor for Top Test Prep. The SAT will present you with a short reading passage, followed by questions relating to that passage. You can read this passage on the screen, or pause the video and download the passage at toptestprep.com. In order to understand the main idea or argument of the passage, it's helpful to give the passage a title. Do this before you even look at the questions. It will help you pinpoint what the passage is trying to say, and that in turn will help you answer the questions. The title I came up with is, "Seeing Photo of Loved One May Alleviate Physical Pain." Maybe not the most elegant, but it certainly sums up the main idea. Here's a typical question on a short reading passage. Which best characterizes the relationship between the first paragraph and the second paragraph? Looking back at the passage, this sentence right here seems to make the connection between paragraphs. Now, a study suggests that merely looking at a photograph of a loved one can relieve the sensation of physical pain. We have this main idea expressed in a single sentence. When we look at the second paragraph, we see that it goes into this phenomenon in greater detail. When you're reading, it's always helpful to underline. Underline anything that relates to the main idea, argument, or tone of the passage. I underlined this sentence because it seems to sum up the main idea. While this sentence introduces the study, the next paragraph describes the study in greater detail. Having underlined and studied the relationship between paragraphs, let's go through the answer choices. A. The second paragraph gives reasons for the phenomenon described in the first paragraph. I wouldn't say that this second paragraph gives reasons for the phenomenon. It's not explaining why this is true. It's demonstrating how we know it's true. It's giving us more detail on the actual experiment. So maybe not A. How about B? The paragraphs approach the same phenomenon from different perspectives. The second paragraph isn't going at the phenomenon from a different perspective. It's just helping to tell us about the study. So B doesn't seem quite right either. C. The second paragraph challenges the argument put forward in the first paragraph. This certainly isn't the case. We don't have a challenge coming in the second paragraph. In fact, we have supporting evidence. So C is not right. D. The second paragraph provides a detailed example of the phenomenon described in the first paragraph. D looks like a winner here. We have the second paragraph coming in and explaining the circumstances of the study, explaining the outcome. So D looks right, but to be safe, let's check out E. The first paragraph introduces a theory. The second paragraph explains how the theory applies in certain situations. The thing I object to in this answer choice is certain situations, plural. We're not talking about how the theory applies in various circumstances. We're talking about one study that illustrates this phenomenon. So E isn't quite right either. D is the best choice here. The second paragraph provides a detailed example of the phenomenon described in the first paragraph. To review, with short passages on the SAT, be sure to give the passage a title and to underline. For more information on SAT or ACT prep, call 1-800-501-PREP or visit us at toptestprep.com.